Hey everyone, we finally have the new Mythic hero, so it's finally time to try him, because I have enough shards to get directly the exclusive 5, and so we are gonna try him in detail in this video. You have two different forms on the hero, and when you start the fight, you are starting with the connection form, increasing your damage reflection of all your heroes by 14%. And every time your heroes are gonna take a crit damage, they are gonna heal by 3% of Zhongming's max HP. That effect, the heal effect, can proc 3 times before the next turn of Zhongming. And in fact, let's try it directly in PvP. I'm gonna try that team versus that one in PvP, and in fact you have a jingle bell in front and everything to increase her damage, so normally she should destroy my heroes. We are gonna check what is gonna happen. First form on the new Mythic hero, Jingle Bell is gonna attack my heroes, and look at her health. She is just dying because she is attacking my heroes, and now I can counterattack with Erato, and basically doing nothing, I just killed the threat in front. Now I can just cleanse my heroes, heal them, and take the advantage. So now when you want to change the form, you need to use the first active skill. After that, you're gonna have 57% more internal injury damage on Zhongming, and every time you're gonna cast proactively the basic attack, so it won't work with counterattacks and pursuits, you are gonna stack 1 layer of breath. Once you have 6 layers, you are gonna have 1 extra stage of attack on the basic attack, and once you have 12 layers, you are gonna have 3 stages of attack on the basic attack. And the cooldown of the first active skill cannot be increased or decreased. So now let's talk about the basic attack. 1 stage of damage, 5.6% of his max HP, and the same coefficient as internal injury damage. So 2 sorts of damage on the basic attack, and then you have 80% chance to inflict 1 layer of internal injury for 2 turns on everyone. That's an AoE attack, and that's pretty cool. So let's check the damage without changing the form. AoE attack. They are taking their turn and they are taking some internal injury damage. If I check the data now, 1800 damage. If I change the form, I get an extra turn, I can use the basic attack, and we are gonna check the difference. 2800. You have 1000 extra damage. So now on the ultimate, 2 stages of damage, 6.5% of his max HP, and the same coefficient as internal injury damage on all enemies, and 80% chance to horrify them. So there is a control, and I like that control for PvP because enemies can waste their skills. So let's check the damage with the first form and then with the second one. 2650 with the first form. Now I'm in the second form, let's reuse it. 3600. One more time, around 1000 extra damage when you are in the second form. Let's have a look at the passive now. He's gonna start with a 2000 stance value, and every time he's gonna cast the basic attack or the ultimate, he's gonna restore 50 stance value. Every time he's gonna restore 400. He's gonna decrease the attack of all enemies by 40% for 2 turns with a 100% chance, which means that you still need to have some effect hit on him to apply the attack decrease. 400 stance value needed means that you need to cast at least 8 times the basic attack or the ultimate. Then when the targets have 4 or more layers of internal injury, every internal injury inflicted by Zhongming is gonna inflict 6.6% of his max HP in damage. So we are gonna check the difference, and for that I'm gonna apply 2 layers on that guy, and let's check the damage of each internal injury layer. 205k per layer. Now I'm gonna apply 4, and we are gonna check the difference from 205k to 341. So you have a 141k extra damage per layer of dot. And then when you have multiple heroes from the same faction, you are gonna deal more internal injury damage on bosses only, from 120% to 300% more internal injury damage. So that's maybe a way to increase your damage in the faction abyss or in the Wuthering Coast, in my opinion. So now let's have a look at the first exclusive. When you are under the connection form, you are gonna increase your heals by 50%, so 6% of his max HP instead of 3%. Or when your heroes are full HP, they are gonna have a shield instead for 2 turns, with the same value, so 6% of his max HP. That's not gonna be a big shield, but still it can be useful to survive in some content. You can trigger these effects 4 times instead of 3 per turn, and when you are in the second form, you are gonna gain 2 layers of breath when you use use the ultimate instead of one. Don't worry, I'm gonna try the exclusive one later during the video in real situations because I want to see the difference you have in damage in the Wuthering Coast between the different exclusives. But it doesn't have a big impact for now, so I'm gonna check directly the exclusive 2 in the trial. So the exclusive 2 is an amazing one. Directly at the beginning of the wave, he's gonna restore 300 stance value, and every time one of your hero is gonna take a turn, he's gonna restore 50 more. So in fact, if you have only 2 heroes who are taking a turn, he's gonna have the 400 stance value restoration amount, and he's gonna cast directly the effect on the passive. 40% less attack on all enemies, and thanks to the exclusive 2, you are also gonna decrease the defense of all targets in front by 40% and proc a shield on all your heroes by 20% of his max HP. So that's a really nice support exclusive. So let's check that. I have Lydia and Nazil in the team. They are gonna take the first turn. He has a 300 stance value already restored. And so after casting that one, he's gonna get 50 more. As you can see, it increased. And so I'm gonna cast the freeze, and normally he should cast defense down 40%, attack down 40%, and a shield on all my heroes directly after the turn of my Nazil. And that's what happened. Look at that. That's super efficient. And the exclusive 3 is gonna add some more effects on the ultimate. Depending on your form, when you are on the connection, you are gonna remove all the buffs from all enemies, and then you are gonna reduce the cooldown of the ultimate by 1 turn. And when you are in the possession form, you are gonna refresh the duration of all internal injury dots on the enemies, and increase the damage of the second stage of the attack by 150 to 400% of the original, depending on the layers of breath you have. So when you are in PvP, I suppose that you will want to remove the buffs on enemies, so you want to stay in the first connection form, or you can switch directly if you want to increase your damage. Cast the ultimate directly at the beginning. You are gonna have 2 layers of breath thanks to the first exclusive, 3500 without any layer of breath. Let's check with 4 layers. 4,400 almost. So you have a pretty nice increase. With 8 layers, 5,000. And with 12 layers, 7,500. So once you have the 12 layers of breath, your damage are gonna ramp up a lot. Okay, so that was all for the kit of the hero. Now let's concentrate on how to build a hero. So first, let's talk about the stats. You need to first increase his HP and his mastery. I would recommend to go higher in mastery than in HP. It's gonna increase faster his damage. Because if you want to play him as a damage dealer, the internal injuries are the main source of damage on the hero. So the more the mastery, the higher the damage. So mastery first, HP then, and the effect hit to apply the debuffs. For now, I'm using an HP set and a mastery set to have a bit more HP and mastery. But of course, the best set to have on him is the endurance set to have both more HP and mastery. These are the emblems I'm currently using. The goal is to increase his mastery damage at the left, and on the right to have more health, cooldown reduction for the ultimate, more speed and more duration on attribute debuffs, less damage when he has a shield, and more effect hit on the first turn of each wave. For the aura, I decided to go with that one because for now I can't afford a better one on him. Otherwise, you can try to use a mastery surge if you want to add some more mastery on all your heroes. Or you can go with that one to have more HP and more effect hit. That's a good one to use on him. Or if you want to have way more damage, you can go with the Surging Force aura if you have the budget to buy it. For the Echo, I'm currently using that one to have a bit more HP. Or you can use that one to have both more HP and mastery. So now let's try the hero in the Wuthering Coast, but we currently have that team working with the power of Sagacity, which is the best team we can have for that content, so I'm not sure if he's gonna be a good help on that content. Let's check the damage I have with that team. Almost 10 billion damage. So let's try to replace Little Jack and use him instead. I want to have more damage, so I'm gonna tell him to use one time that skill and then never again. So he's gonna permanently be in the second form. So let's check the final result. And it's worst, of course it is. I don't think he is designed for that content. But we are gonna check later with more exclusives on him. Let's check in the faction abyss, but if you already have Indra and Dianmu, he's gonna be absolutely useless. Let's try with that team to see how he performs. I wanna see the damage he can do on waves. Change the form and use the ultimate once. Hey, we have pretty nice damage so far. That's pretty nice. And the Horrify, so it can help to survive. Not good damage on the basic attack for now. Basic attack again. Yeah, he doesn't have big damage on the basic attack. With Faction, I have Resolute 2 increasing his skill damage by 40%. That's why on the first wave, he deals more damage on the ultimate. Okay, boss wave. He's already in the second form. He's not really efficient in this kind of content without any exclusive at all. It's gonna take forever to have the attack down on the boss. You can't inflict defense down. I'm gonna run the fight in auto and see what happens. Okay, he is changing his form when you are playing in auto without any smart casting at all. He is an average hero to clear waves, but then he is gonna lack some damage on the boss. Without any exclusive, I mean. Let's check again without any exclusive in PvP versus the same team as before. So you have a Jingle Bell in front. There we go, I have some damage reflection. My Erato is killing Jingle Bell. Now I can heal. Is it gonna work? There is still Sun Wukong in front, so maybe it won't work. But I have more stuff to defeat the opponent, so normally I should win. And the fight is over. 30 turns. And that's the final score. So he doesn't have high damage for now. Time to add the first exclusive. It's not gonna add anything in the Wuthering Coast. I'm just gonna have a bit more heal and a shield with him, so it's not impacting the score. Depending on the heroes you have in the Faction Abyss stage 30, it might help you to heal a bit more and to shield your heroes and to get some breath layers faster on him. So yes, over time you might have a bit more damage. So let's use that skill to change the form and the ultimate. So now I have 2 layers of breath directly. The damage are still the same. Boss wave. I'm gonna have 6 layers. Already 7 layers. So now I'm gonna have an extra stage of attack on the basic attack. So let's check his damage on the basic attack. That's pretty nice in my opinion, because over time he will have another stage of attack, and so normally he should deal more damage at once. And you have the internal injury damage from both Faction and himself, so the result is pretty nice in the end. Let's do another basic attack. 2 stages of internal injuries. Let's use one more time the ultimate to have 2 extra layers of breath. Now he has 12 layers, so let's check the damage inflicted on the boss. Considering also the internal injury damage, the result is pretty nice. But let's exit the fight. Let's see the impact in PvP. Let's check the shield buffs I have on my heroes when I'm gonna get hit by Lydia. You can check that on my Nordak, for example. That's the shield. It just appeared, and so that's because of the exclusive one of that guy. When I'm taking some hits and when my heroes are full HP, they are getting a shield by 6% of his own max HP. So I got the shield one time, a second time, and now it's getting destroyed. Now Jingle Bell is attacking me. She is almost dead as before. Now she is dead thanks to Erato. I have exactly the same health as before on the last try. 22 turns, so it was faster than before, but I don't think that it was because of the exclusive one. Time to try the exclusive 2. Fast during the fight, he will cast a shield on our hero, 20% of max HP, defense down 2 and attack down 2 on all enemies for 2 turns. So let's see in the Wuthering Coast if there is a difference. I'm gonna have a bit more direct damage with my heroes. I don't think that it's gonna change many things. Exact same score as before. But in the Faction Abyss, it should help to stay alive longer. So let's check that. So 1 turn, 2 turns, I'm gonna have attack down, defense down on all enemies and a shield on my heroes. That's what happened. So now they should take more damage with the ultimate of Sun Wukong. So it helps to clear the waves faster. Second wave already after 4 turns, so yes, that's pretty nice. And that's a passive, which means that you will have that all the time. So that's a really nice exclusive too. Already boss wave 17 turns. Attack down 40%, of course it will help a lot. And defense down, so more direct damage as well. So that's a pretty nice exclusive for boss fights. You are gonna survive longer thanks to the attack down and the shield. And the defense down can help depending on the team you are gonna use. Now let's check again the impact in PvP versus the same team. The enemies are playing before me because that's a speed team, so it has no impact for now. I'm taking the first turn. Pauline is taking another turn, so I'm gonna get some shield on my heroes, attack down, defense down on them. And there we go. It happened. So now I'm gonna have less damage to tank, and I'm gonna inflict more direct damage. So one more time, depending on the team you are using in PvP, it can have an impact. So it's taking more turns than before, but then it depends on the RNG of the fight. And the fight is over. Time to add the exclusive 3 now. With the first form, removes all buffs from all enemies and reduce the cooldown on the ultimate by 1 turn. It can help a lot in PvP. In the second form, depending on the layers of breath he has, he's gonna deal more damage and refresh the duration of internal injuries. Okay, so let's first try in the Wuthering Coast with the same team and the same buff. Normally, he should deal a bit more damage. He seems to deal just a bit more damage. Before he was around 250 maximum, and now 318, so it's a bit better on him. I was expecting better, to be honest, but I don't know exactly why he is not dealing more damage than that. I'm gonna try to change the team just by curiosity. I removed Jack and Roll, I added Faction instead. Now I have 4 heroes from the same faction and he seems to deal way more damage. That is still not amazing, but at least it's better than before. What if I use that team now? I just removed Jack and Roll in fact, and I'm using him instead. But now the score is worse than before. It's weird. I thought that using Little Jack in the team would give more mastery on them and so that I could deal more damage, but in fact it's not the case. I was expecting a better score on him. So what if I use only heroes from the same faction? More damage on him, but it's still not enough. And if you want to use an accessible team, maybe you can try to replicate that one. You have no limited hero inside, you have 2 mythic ones and Indra Dianmu faction, and you have a pretty high score, 5,200,000,000. Let's try again in the faction abyss, stage 30. Resolute 2 on my heroes, attack down, defense down, ultimate with Sun Wukong. Change the form, ultimate again with him, the first wave is over, 5 turns. Ultimate on Eric with faction, pretty nice damage by the way. Basic attack with Sun Wukong, 1 enemy is dead. Basic attack with the new hero. That was pretty nice, not high damage but pretty useful I mean. Ultimate with Moxie, only 2 enemies remaining, she's gonna kill them both. And boss wave. I'm gonna have the ultimate again really soon. 10 layers of internal injury on the boss. Now I can reuse the ultimate, and the cool thing about the exclusive 3 is that I can refresh the duration of the dots on the boss, the internal injury only. So let's use that and see the damage. I have 8 layers of breath, so normally I should have more damage on the ultimate, 200% on the second stage. So let's check how much damage I can do. Pretty nice damage, because then the boss is gonna take the internal injury damage. Let's check how much damage is he gonna take with the internal injuries. Check the mouse. Pretty nice damage, right? So that's a pretty cool unit to use. And the boss is dead. And remember that using faction with him, a faction can trigger the internal injuries on enemies. So if you have a lot of internal injuries with him, the more you have, the more the damage with faction's ultimate. So that's a pretty cool combo. Time to try again in PvP with the same team. I'm gonna go in manual. Jingle Bell is gonna kill herself. As before, I have the same health remaining on my heroes. I'm gonna cleanse and heal. Damage immunity. Ultimate with Sun Wukong. Now I can remove buffs. So let's do it, and they are horrified, so that's pretty cool. They have multiple debuffs, so when they are gonna take their turn, they are not forced to lose the layer of the control. They can lose the attack, they can lose the defense. So let's do some more damage on them. Basic attack with Pauline. Shield. Look at that. And they are already dead. And the horrified cancelled popper. That was perfect. So that's a really nice hero for PvP too. So what do you think about the hero so far? There is an extra content in which I want to try the hero. The Purgatory of 7 Sins. I was able to clear the stage 30 before using that team. No, it's just taking forever. The boss is not taking any damage at all. That's clearly not a good damage dealer for that content. I'm gonna wait until I have more layers of breath, but I'm not expecting to have a better score after that. Okay, first time I have 10 internal injuries on the boss. Let's check the damage taken. Not even 1%. I don't have enough controls. Diaz already have more than 3 layers of buffs, so they are stealing my buffs. Okay, I'm gonna have the 12 layers. So let's check if it does a difference. Yeah, still not enough damage. Not even 1% of damage inflicted on the boss with one of his attack. Another basic attack, let's check the damage. Yeah, you have just no damage at all. The boss has only 1 billion HP and I'm not even able to deal more than 5% damage over 120 turns with that team. That's terrible. I was expecting better from him in that content. So guys, that was all for that video. Let me know what you think about the hero in the comment below. I personally think that it's a good hero, an average hero to start the game with. He is a nice hero to use in PvP with the damage reflection system. And outside of that, he's pretty nice in the faction abyss. You have a pretty good team to use in the Wuthering Coast with him inside if you want to have a nice core without any limited hero, I mean. But then I'm not sure if you are gonna use him outside of these respective contents. You just have to see the damage he can deal on that boss and you understand that in Dwarven Ruins he is gonna be useless. Or at least used as a support to have the death break or the attack break, some shield and heals maybe, and that's pretty all in fact. And in fact I was expecting better from that hero because we already have Nordak. That's an amazing hero in every content of the game. He is by far better than the new Mythic hero we just had today. So why should we bother getting the new hero when we have already Nordak to take? Maybe if you are using them both in dungeons, in Dwarven Ruins, you are gonna have the attack down, defense down, so you're gonna have more damage with your direct damage dealers. You are gonna have the buffs from Nordak to tank a bit more. But if I had to choose another hero instead of him, I would go with Nita because she can also reduce the attack of the enemies with the poison layers and she deals crazy damage in comparison. So there is no match at all. If I want to go with a hero today, I'm gonna take Nordak first, then I'm gonna take Nita in the second choice, and then maybe if you are still lacking some good heroes to tank the damage in dungeons, I'm not even sure to go with that guy in fact. He's gonna deal no damage at all. And if you want more tankiness on your heroes, you can go with the HAL 9000, or you can go with Timmy. He is an amazing hero to help you survive, or you can even go with Atkins. You are gonna have a 3 turns consolidation too, and passively you are gonna inflict 40% less kill damage on the boss and crit rate down 50%. So outside of the team I showed you in the Wuthering Coast and in PvP, I am not a big fan of the hero, and I think that many players were expecting a better hero in fact. A hero better than the previous Mythic ones we had, but in my opinion that's not the case. So guys, that was all for the video. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know in the comment below what you think about the hero. Have a nice day and see you in the next video. Bye bye.